Good evening, guys. Tonight, I'm bringing you another election prediction, and tonight we're going to be doing Cenk Uygur. I'm not sure exactly how to say his last name, but something like Erg. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, but against Ben Shapiro, both famous for their online shows. Cenk Uygur, of course, from the Young Turks. Ben Shapiro, famous all around the country, also doing appearances on many news networks. But yeah, Cenk Uygur being the Democrat, Ben Shapiro being the Republican, and I'll first of all start filling up the battlegrounds on this map. I am using Fox News map this time. Oops. But yeah, I do believe Ben Shapiro will have an advantage, especially in debates. Of course, we all know he is a great debater. He's he defeated many people, I guess you could say, in many debates. But now we'll fill in the solid state for Cenk Uygur. All of these West Coast states always solidly go for the Democrats. The New England states, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, all these states, of course, no surprise. He'll start at 187. Now we'll fill in the safe states for Ben Shapiro. But yeah, he will do pretty well among conservatives, because he's I guess you could say a moderate Republican. He'll do well with independents, and I do think he will have, as I said, an advantage. Just he probably have a better ground game. He'll probably win most of the debates. But yeah, so starting off with Nevada. Actually, let's start off with New Hampshire. I feel that I guess you could say Ben Shapiro would be you wouldn't be able to exactly tell what people both of these candidates would attract to, but I guess you could start with Georgia. There is a solidly Republican, not solid, but a regularly Republican state, so I think that'll hold for him, along with North Carolina. That's pretty rural, pretty Republican. I do think Ben Shapiro would win that state as well. Same thing with Ohio. I feel like he would be an energetic candidate. His personality, as I said, I think he would have a astonishing ground game. He would carry that state, along with Iowa. I feel that he would appeal to the white working class, to the white vote. He'll carry that state as well. Arizona as well. He'll also attract a good amount of the Latino vote, as he said before. He is, I guess you could say, pro-immigration reform. Many things that Latinos want. So I think he would carry Arizona. I think Minnesota as well. I think Minnesota would go for Cenk Uygur, just on the basis of it is pretty democratic. It is trending a bit Republican according to some people, but I do think that state will hold for him. Now, Florida. That is also a good state. I do think, starting off, I do think Ben Shapiro will win Florida. Just saying again, he'll do well. He'll do surprisingly better for a Republican with minorities, in my opinion. As I said, Latinos, African Americans as well. So I do think he'll carry that state. He would, and as we know, Latinos in the state of Florida are a good chunk of the population. So he would get the white vote from that state, plus more Latino vote than usual. So I think he'll carry that state. Same thing in New Hampshire. Well, not same thing, but I do think he'll appeal to the people up there who are looking for jobs. And again, his personality will help him in a lot of these states. His he'll be a very energetic candidate. He'll, as I said, with other candidates who get the vote out, he'll just cause a lot of people that maybe haven't vote for him on the basis of his policies, his, as I said, I keep saying his energy, which even I like, just to say. So I do think he'll flip New Hampshire. Now, Virginia, I think we'll go for Cenk Uygur on the basis of, I do think this state is trending more Democratic now, especially with the suburbs being the most populated, the most growing populated area, which is full of Democratic votes. And now we go to Colorado. I do think the state will be hotly contested on the basis of minorities, suburb voting, seeing how the central suburbs, Denver, Boulder, Arapahoe, those counties are basically going to decide the election. Not Denver, but around there, around the central part of the state. As you saw, the last Republican to carry George W. Bush, 2004, he won Arapahoe and Jefferson County. And I do think Ben Shapiro will also and he'll carry that state, which puts him over the top. He gets 272 as of now. And I think he'll win that on the basis of, as I said, he'll have a good ground game. He'll appeal to many people, not just as many Republicans can do with only white people. And yeah, same thing goes with Pennsylvania. I think he carries that state. He'll appeal to many minorities, African Americans. Better. I'm not saying that he'll win all of these groups. I'm just saying he'll do better, which is good for a Republican. Usually don't win minorities, unless you appeal to, I guess you could say, Latinos, African Americans. But yeah, you don't appeal as a Republican. You don't usually appeal to minorities, but in this case, Ben Shapiro will, which will help him in many states. Which, of course, in Pennsylvania, he'll carry a lot of the central rural counties. He'll lower the margins in places like Luzerne, Monroe County, maybe Pittsburgh. And yeah, so he'll carry that state. And same thing goes along with Wisconsin. He'll win that state as well. Again, he'll get the vote out. He'll appeal to white people along with minorities. Good ground game. And yeah, I do think he'll carry one vote in Maine. Actually, I'm thinking whether to give this to. We'll leave that for now because I'm undecided who will win the state. Actually, Nevada. I do think that state will actually go for him again. Latino vote, minority vote, and white vote. He'll win Washoe County, which you need as a Republican. He'll get the vote. He'll get the vote out in Las Vegas, in Clark County, for him. Which, if you see the last time a Republican carried that, if you see Nevada, 2004, as we know, George W. Bush did win that state by a close margin. Yes, as we see, George W. Bush won. He got slightly up half of the vote there, and as you see, he won Washoe County, which is this long county on the west side. He won that by a good margin, 50-60 points. And if you see, John Kerry didn't win Las Vegas by a humongous margin. He only won it by 50-60%. And if you see, the state, Nevada, in the next election went for Barack Obama 12.5 points. As you see, Las Vegas voted for him along with Washoe and this small county here. He carries the state easily. And 2012, same thing again. He loses that small county, but he wins Washoe and Las Vegas, by 50 and 60%. He again wins that state by 6.5%. And now, again, in 2016, Hillary Clinton won the state by 3.5 points. No, 2.5 points, excuse me. And again, if you see these counties up here, the Donald Trump did get the vote out because as you see, these states, these counties weren't as solid as they were for Mitt Romney than they were for Donald Trump. As you see, they're solid red, but still he lost with Washoe County. She ran up the score in Las Vegas and she carried that state, but I believe something like this would happen. This would happen in the case of Ben Shapiro. This would something like that. He'd lower the margins for Uric in Las Vegas. He'll win Washoe County and we'll carry that state. Now Maine. I do think actually Ben Shapiro would win the state and one congressional district. Of course, there's that one solid congressional district for the Democrats, which would go to Cenk, which I believe, again, based on his policies, how I'd appeal to rural people, he'd get the vote out, and yeah, he would carry that state as well. And again, but the thing is, I think Cenk Uygur would win the state of Michigan, as yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We have to give him one of these states, of course. We'll give him Michigan. And yeah, that will be my final prediction. Ben Shapiro wins with 311 electoral votes to Cenk Uygur's 227. More states flipped than Trump did. He flipped states like Colorado, Nevada, New Hampshire, the state of Maine, and yeah, he did lose Michigan, but that's honestly just because we don't want Cenk to lose every state. But yeah, I do see him. He could also easily win that state. If not, he could actually win that state pretty easily. But again, we'll be nice to Cenk. We'll give him that state. But I hope you did enjoy my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you did enjoy this video. And if you disagree with this, just tell me in the comments why. And I could oh well, actually I do read all your comments. If you don't know, I am working on an election night that features Michelle Obama against President Trump. That's in the process of the making. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.